Yolanda, you big trout mouth, bubble bass, body built. Ooh, the way that you took this young lady away as she was literally touching the pinnacle of everything she had worked so hard for.
I don't like hearing people coming for her father. I don't like hearing people say, let her rest. Why do people say that? Why do people have a problem with people's legacy and memory carrying on? Yes, Selena's mother and father had called Aaliyah's parents when Aaliyah tragically passed away.
Selena is not just a Latin artist. She is global. She is a global artist, and it doesn't matter what nationality you are. You listen to our music and they're fans. And so for that, I am grateful. So with the legacy of that magnitude, it has to be supported throughout the years.
Hello, everybody. Welcome to my channel. Look, today, I just want to let you know that there is a documentary on Netflix that everybody is talking about. Okay. And it is about Selena. And you will see Selena like you have never seen her before. Clips of her that people have never seen, people who actually knew her. I mean, we've seen her family, but we've never heard them really going deep and talking about things, and members of the band, and footage that people didn't see. And a lot of people know who Selena is. She's the queen of Tejano music, and she was murdered, can't say certain words, at an early age, and she accomplished a lot at an early age. And she didn't speak Spanish at first, but her father taught her Spanish. They're Mexican American. He taught her Spanish. She became big in the group singing Tejano music, Spanish, Hispanic, Mexican, Tejano music. And then she was working on her crossover album to the English speaking market. And she was going to be big. She was already big. She had made it. She crossed barriers that had never happened. And she was representing for Mexican Americans like no one had ever seen. She paved the way. Selena is big globally. Unfortunately, she passed away. Well, she was unalived early, but she had did a lot, and more people became familiar with who she was because of her story. Okay, learning how to sing Spanish and Spanish music and English speaking music. She had songs in English like Dreaming of You, I Could Fall in Love, and a few other songs that she had recorded. So Selena's a big deal. She is a legend. And again, she opened the door for a lot of Hispanic women in music, okay? We know that Jennifer Lopez was already rising, but when she played Selena, that just kicked off her career. And Selena paved the way. Before Jennifer Lopez, before Selena Gomez, who probably was named after Selena before. Now, Ariana Grande is actually Italian, but a lot of people thought she was Hispanic. But Selena was the one. Selena was the one. And before Selena, I remember watching La Bamba, Richie Valens, 1950s, also opening the door for Mexicans in America in music, and his life was cut short at just 17, but he's a legend. And Selena, what Selena did, and it's a shame what happened to Selena. Okay, we know that Yolanda, the woman who was working for her, the fan club, pretending to be her friend, her father said she was taking money, and Selena spoke to her at the hotel to confront her. And Yolanda claims that she didn't take her life, but yet you had the weapon and you gunned Selena down, and Selena had lost her life. So Selena had won a Grammy. She had her own clothing line. Okay, she was doing the damn thing. And she already was a star. She was about to be an even bigger star. This is just a fact, okay? So look, with this video, let's see some of the opinions of people who just watched this documentary. Some people who already knew who Selena was, and others who people are showing their children are crying. I watched it, and you will cry. I cried watching the Selena movie when J-Lo played Selena. And I tell you that story again, that when I was little, I remember I was in a very predominantly Hispanic area, but I didn't know what was going on. Everybody had on the shirt that had Selena on it. I remember this. Selena, everybody was walking around. This was around the time she passed away. But I didn't know who she was at the time because I was little, and I asked someone, I said, why is everybody wearing her shirt? Like, who is this? And they told me, oh, that was Selena. She passed away. But I didn't know her impact. But when I watched the movie with J-Lo playing her, that's when I knew even more who she was crying, started listening to her music. I even looked up the lyrics to Come On, Come On, Flo, Daquama, me disne tu, se marchito, me marchó, yo sé, bebé, pero ay, como me duele. See, I can sing a little bit in the bitty bitty bum bum. And I loved, again, I Could Fall in Love and Dreaming of You and What Happened to the Love. Really good music, and it's a shame what happened, but her legacy lives on. And look, I'm going to show you a video where I don't like hearing people coming for her father. I don't like hearing people say, let her rest. Why do people say that? Why do people have a problem with people's legacy and memory carrying on? Like, oh, they passed away. Let's just forget them and stop talking about them. They're not in misery because society and people within the community still listen to their music, still talk about them, still admire them. I don't understand that whole, well, just drop it and let people Why? Why can't she still be talked about? Why can't her legacy continue to live on? Why is that bad to you? People who think like that. It's nothing wrong that her father and family continue to keep her memory and her legacy alive. Oh, I don't like that her father's at the museum and he's getting paid. That's Selena's father. He's keeping the legacy alive, and he's getting paid to maintain the museum and all that stuff. You know, I don't think Selena, I know Selena passed away, but I highly doubt that Selena probably would have a problem that her family is able to live and survive by still keeping her memory alive. They were a group and a band, and they were there, and there's nothing wrong with that. There's nothing wrong that her family is able to make a living by continuing to make sure people remember her and her legacy. Would you want it to go to somebody else? No, I mean, I see people trying to come for her father a lot, and like they know him like that, or that he didn't love his daughter or wasn't supportive and all this other stuff. It's sick to me. But those are opinions that some people have. You can have them. I don't think that her father, he's nowhere near Joe Jackson, because someone said that no, he was not beating Selena and all that stuff that anybody knows of and being treated the way Michael Jackson was being treated. Also, before I show you the video clips, a lot of people don't know, because it's very similar to Aaliyah. You know, look, Selena is global, but she is huge for the Latino community, Mexican American community, and what she represents. And people always say it's just so similar like Aaliyah, because Aaliyah passed away at 21, 22. And that was around the same age Selena was unalived. And her career, Aaliyah was a star and she was about to become bigger. And what a lot of people don't know is that Selena's family, when Aaliyah passed away, Selena's family, her parents, actually called Aaliyah's parents. I remember that being talked about. So yeah, that's something that people don't know. Yes, Selena's mother and father had called Aaliyah's parents when Aaliyah tragically passed away. So that was very nice, and I wanted to share that with you. So now let's get into some of what the public is saying about this documentary. Okay, so you're gonna see clips that people haven't seen of Selena performing, looking fabulous. Again, Selena talking and singing. You can see, yes, she sounds like the album. She really could sing. Okay, and moments with her fans that you never saw, her family, and you learn more about their story. Just things that you didn't see in the film about her. It's a lot. Okay, so again, her husband, Chris, they were together, and you learn things about the relationship. So that was really great to see. Okay. A lot of people are saying that they're happy that Selena actually ran off to get married to Chris, because her life was cut short so early. At least she got to know what it was like to be in love, and she actually was able to get married. And her sister was saying, we thought we were going to have kids grow up together. I have kids, she has kids, and really live that life. And that's very sad, very, very sad. Okay, so those are some things you see when look, Selena, they show Well, I don't recall seeing this in the documentary, but this was uploaded on TikTok where, the public got to see Selena in the casket when she passed. You also see footage the day she passed away and the police, Yolanda in the car. I had never seen that before. So you get a lot. So let's see a little bit more.
Londa, you big trout mouth, bubble bass, body built. The way that you took this young lady away as she was literally touching the pinnacle of everything she had worked so hard for. I just finished the new Selena documentary on Netflix and I'm tore up. Me in school is tore up all over again. Don't look at that pimple. And me being from Texas, Selena is my cousin. Like, don't even play with me. I love me some Selena down boots. I love the way that this documentary chose to highlight her life and her legacy. This woman played no games about her career. She was destined to be a star, and not just a for the moment star. I'm talking about a star that shines brightly through time. Like, sister literally did not know Spanish. And her father said, we're going to start a Tejano band. And what did she do? She made sure to put the work in to learn the language to get closer to her culture. So that way, when she got on that stage, she was a representation of possibility for marginalized people. Selena was the beacon of hope of things that were possible.
I just want to put it out there that if you have not watched the documentary of Selena that was put out today on Netflix by her family, which you must watch, but if you are a true Selena fan, just a FYI, prepare yourself to go through that trauma again, because there's no way that girl should have been gone. Ooh, my PTSD from when I was 4 years old and seeing her gone, definitely a must watch. God. And these are actual videos of her. Beautiful. Oh.
I agree. I had never seen this type of footage before of Selena. Ever. No one's seen this type of footage. And I mean, when I heard her sing a song that I like, photographs, tickets for two, the love we... I can't sing it like her, but she was singing it a cappella without any studio, anything. And that's the case for a lot of artists back in the day. Before you saw all this studio stuff and the computer helping people, no, you had to be able to sing to make it. You had to be able to sing. Okay, and that's why so many that we love from, I would say early 2000s and before, okay? Especially the 90s and before the 90s. Real authentic, no auto-tune, real a cappella type singing. So, and Selena sounded just like what you would hear on her music videos. She really could sing and she was dedicated. And it was amazing seeing Selena like talking, singing, talking about her fashion line. You see the clips of her when she was a teenager, a child, all types of stuff that no one has ever seen before.
As a big Selena fan, I am so happy that that Netflix documentary had come out. I'm going to be honest, I didn't really watch the TV series because I didn't hear the best things about it, but I am so grateful for this documentary, and it just gave us so much like behind the scenes stuff and tons of footage that we never seen before. And as a fan, I just absolutely adored it. But what made this documentary even more amazing to me is, even though it's released 30 years after Selena was tragically murdered, Yolanda was supposed to be eligible for parole this year, 30 years later, back in March, and she got denied. And it feels good that at least the family, releasing this documentary 30 years later, they're also still getting their due justice. So I'm happy for that.
I'm over here watching the new Selena documentary that came out on Netflix, and it's just so sad. Like, the whole time I'm watching this documentary, I just can't help but to keep saying, it is so sad. It is so sad. This is so sad. She was literally just gorgeous inside and out and was so talented. And this is the most like behind the scenes footage that I've ever seen of any of the quinceañeras, honestly. And to literally see all the footage from when they were kids, teenagers, getting signed, performing, and like doing it with your family. I have the luxury of being able to perform with my dad on stage. And so every single time I do it, I am so thankful that I get to do one of my favorite things in the world with my father. They were a big, happy family. And Selena was their baby. And they lost their baby. Like, we lost Selena, but they lost their baby. Like, oh, it is so hard to not just bust out in tears even just talking about this. Because it's just like, over what? Over what? This young lady is gone. For what? Ooh. Okay, cause see, now I'm getting angry just thinking about it. I love Selena. And thank you so much for the beautiful music and memories that you have left everyone on this earth. I mean, there's just nobody like her.
I'm just sitting here watching the Selena documentary that came out today on Netflix, and all I can think about is we were robbed. We were robbed. I have so much respect for artists and whatnot, and I'm just sad that right now we have to resort to AI singers when we had this beautiful queen.
Family restaurant, we lost our family home, and now we living in a house with 13 people, and you telling me we got to get out the food stamp line because somebody recognized me as the little girl that used to sing at the restaurant that got shut down. Boy, if you don't look for it so we can get these food stamps, I'm hungry. Of course I watched the Selena documentary before you had a chance to tell your coworker, oh my God, girl, did you see it's a new Selena documentary on Netflix? We should watch it. We ain't doing shit at work anyway. Here's everything you need to know about the Selena Dinos documentary available to stream on Netflix today. The documentary includes interviews from Selena's dad, Abraham, Selena's mom. They show old interview clips of Selena as well as old family home videos. Her brother, A.B., her sister, Suzette, one of the band members, Pete, and her husband, Chris. If you'll do anything for Selena's, you need to do nothing at work and watch Selena y los Dinos on Netflix right now. Selena's mom, like, when I met my husband, I didn't know he was a singer. I didn't really find out that he was doing all that stuff until we got married. I mean, you really should have asked a couple questions because he was really deep into that bandhood. Abraham details joining his band at 15 and how he only knew English songs and didn't know any Spanish songs. They discuss the breakdown of the band and how the band got their name. Abraham talks about how in the early days he was touring so much with his band that when he would come home, his kids didn't recognize him sometimes, and he was like, yeah, can't do that no more. Talk about opening their family restaurant and how it got shut down. One day after the family restaurant got shut down and they was in the food stamp line, somebody recognized Selena as the girl that used to sing at the restaurant that got shut down, and Abraham was like, oh my God, we in the wrong place. How did we end up in the food stamp like that? It's crazy, and took them out of there. I get pride, but like, babe, we're hungry. They talk about Selena's wardrobe and how she had to learn Spanish. Of course, they talk about Big Bertha in the documentary. Interview clips of Selena talking about being homeschooled and not having too many friends.
I just had to come on here and voice my opinion on the Selena documentary. First and foremost, rest in peace to the queen of Tejano music. What a tragedy, what just a devastating moment in history, honestly. I've seen the movies, I've seen the TV show on Netflix, but this documentary, man, it really it humanizes her so much to the point where it's like, damn, like, just scratch the music, scratch everything. Like, this was a human being. This was someone who was living her dream, and just snap of a finger, she's gone. Like, that's it. It's over. 10 out of 10 for this documentary. Yeah.
When Selena died back on March 31st, 1995, it shocked the entire world. Not only was Selena a great singer, but she was a megastar. Selena was the Latin Madonna, and her star power was only getting bigger. But sadly, in 1995, only at the age of 23, she would be murdered. She had this big heart, and she was killed. And she was killed by someone she considered a friend. But today, we're not going to be talking about Yolanda in the murder case. We're going to be talking about Selena's estate. At the time of her death, Selena's estate was only worth $300,000. But then, only a few months later, after her death, her album Dreaming of You would come out. The album came out on July 18, 1995, and this album right here, it was going to help her finally cross over into pop. The album was a big hit. It was #1 on Billboard Top 200, and I believe it sold anywhere from 2 million to 4 million copies. So the album is adding more value to her estate. And then her family finds out that people are selling bootleg albums and merchandise without their consent. This would lead to her father, Abraham Quintanilla, taking legal action against everybody. This is also when he realized that people were trying to get paid off of Selena. But then, Abraham makes a bold move. He makes her family and her husband, Chris Perez, sign a legal document putting him in charge of her estate. And for everybody who signed the document, Abraham gave them 25% of whatever money was made through the estate. Making him the head of her estate meant that anybody who wanted to do anything with Selena, they had to go through him. And over time, her estate keeps growing. On March 21st, 1997, the film Selena would come out, and that definitely brought in a lot more money. But now, fast forward to 2012. Chris comes out with a book about him and Selena's relationship. The book was called To Selena with Love, and her family gave him permission to do the book. The book was really good, and then Chris would be approached about making a TV show based on it. But then, to the surprise of Chris, his father-in-law would take him to court. Her father didn't give him permission, and also at the time, he was developing a show with Netflix. Abraham would win the legal battle, and it's messed up because when Chris did sign the paper, he was grieving. He just lost his wife of 3 years, and truth be told, he should have had way more access to her estate.
The museum scene when he's sitting there.
Okay, so with these two videos, again, there are some people who are coming for Selena's father because, well, his family, they still are able to make money. He's the head of the estate. He runs the museum, keeping her memory alive. And there are people who think he's a vulture. And I don't, look, I don't fully agree with that at all. I think that is great that they're doing this to keep her memory alive for fans all over who want to still come and see things when it comes to Selena. Without her father, Selena, there would be no Selena, you know, without him pushing them to be great and getting into the music business. So people, like, you can't take that away from him and the family. And look, I don't know him, okay? So I'm not going to say, you can feel however you want to feel about him, but I think some people are wrong. I think he loves Selena. I think he is heartbroken. I saw where he has to fight to still stay mentally sane, and he still breaks down sometime. Okay, he never wanted something like this to happen. He was happy she was fulfilling the dream and that she had made it. Okay, so look, people, Elvis has Nashville, going to see Graceland and stuff. Millions of fans. His legacy still remains because of Priscilla. Even though there are people who try to clown Priscilla, baby, that was his wife, okay? Now, I know there's a controversy because of her age type of thing, what happened, but I'm still saying that was his wife. She knew him. She was with him, and it's nothing wrong with her preserving the legacy and having Graceland. And if Selena father wants to continue to keep her memory alive, and you can go and see the Museum of Things with Selena, you can see her grave site. I mean, would you want someone else doing it who wasn't related? But this is how I feel. You can feel how you want to feel. Let's see these two videos.
On his little phone, just watching, just collecting the cash. I mean, think about who really benefited from Selena passing, like, honestly. And clearly they're still living off of her. It's just off. It's off. And I'm not saying enough about this. Everyone, we got our energy siphoned. It was beautiful to see more amazing footage and to see the real person that Selena was, but she did not look happy. And everyone's just talking about the aesthetic of it. Nobody's paying attention to the emotions. I mean, she was a strong, outspoken woman that did not want to be controlled by her father and married Chris in order to gain that. So as much as I enjoyed it, I was disgusted. There's so much more to this here. The fact that the movie was made only 2 years after she passed, no one really does a biopic like that. Like, that's still very fresh. And then I did some more digging down the rabbit hole about what happened. And apparently, allegedly, Selena, her father denied her a blood transfusion due to religious beliefs. Yeah, so possibly her life could have been saved. I don't know, y'all. What did you guys think about it? Anyone else feel disgusted after watching the Selena y los Dinos documentary? Her dad gives me the ick, the entire ick. He was in his own group, right? But why was it downplayed so much in the movie? Like he had one gig and that was it. Like literally, she was groomed to be in this industry. The fact Selena carried her entire family on her back and supported them as a child is wild. Her dad gives super narcissistic, super odd emotion. When he talks about her passing, he follows up with, "It is what it is." He said that she didn't mind him when she married Chris, and Southerners, you know what that means. He said that she knew where the real money was, and it wasn't going to be from making dresses, like completely downplaying her designer skills. I mean, everything was about money. Now, we know Yolanda pulled the trigger, but was it... Her dad is super off to me, okay? Selena was really about to change the game with her crossover and dropping her English album. I don't even think people really understand how huge she already was. We were kind of duped into believing that her English album would give her accolades to Americans, but she was already at that stage before even dropping her English album. The museum scene.
Okay, I want y'all to watch the documentary and get back to me in this comment section and let us know, do you feel this way about Selena's father? I'm not saying that they're perfect and that maybe her father does, maybe he has some of these traits, but what I do believe is that he loved her. And yes, I mean, again, he was in a music group. Selena could sing. It is similar to Joe Jackson a little bit because Michael Jackson's dad was singing and he discovered Michael could sing and then he became the lead and Selena was the lead for the group and they were doing well. And I mean, again, Selena wouldn't be Selena if it wasn't for her father starting the group and everything. And I understand the whole thing about, you know, children who don't always have a childhood and they're working and doing music. And this is a story you see a lot. I mean, even with Beyonce was training in the group Destiny's Child when they were little, running around in heels on treadmills. But this is what it took back in the day to become great. All the greats have this story, a number of them, where they started early. And no, I'm not supporting letting childhoods go away, not being able to have fun, being overworked type of thing. I don't support that. But you do notice that this is a common thing for the greats who worked early. Okay, sacrifice to get there, to have the dream. Okay, but there are some things that go wrong, things that's missing from childhood and all types of stuff. We've heard those stories. And I mean, I wouldn't want some stranger operating the museum and benefiting from Selena's legacy. It should be her parents and her sisters and brothers who actually knew her. Selena's not here. They're keeping her legacy alive and they should be paid for the work that goes into that. It doesn't mean that they don't love her and that, oh, I'm sure they're not happy. I mean, we saw them crying. They're hurt by it, but they're keeping her legacy alive. And there are some people, I looked in the comment section, who were talking bad about her dad. And he said when she had passed away, when he said it is what it is, he didn't say it like he didn't care. He said it like, what can we do? We can't do nothing. It happened and it's hard. And he said it hits him sometimes out the blue that his daughter is gone and you could see him starting to cry. So I don't know. I don't have this, I don't dislike her father. And I'm not saying that some things might not be true that she said, but from what I'm seeing, I don't see a problem with her family releasing things for the public who to keep her memory alive, and they should be paid. They are her family and we're a part of the group. This is work. It's just, I don't know. That's just how I feel. And you can disagree. Let us know. Let us know in the comments section. What do you think? So there's about just 2 more videos I want to show you real quick.
I just finished watching the Selena documentary and I am teary-eyed and boohooing, and it kind of reminds me of the reason why I always connected with Selena. When I was a kid, I was obsessed with Selena. I would make music videos. I would gather all of my family in the living room when we had holidays and get-togethers so that I could do a cover of a Selena song. And she really inspired me as a kid to like be not only fearless, but love to share my love of music and performance in front of people. And while I always thought when I was a kid that I was going to be a singer, you know, because I love Selena so much. You know, they always say that when you're a kid, what you wanted to be is really telling of who you should be, you know, aiming to be as an adult. And while I don't want to be a singer, but I do love singing, and I don't necessarily want to be a performer, there's bits and pieces of those moments growing up being so in love with what Selena meant to me as a Puerto Rican girl that was very connected to her culture but didn't speak Spanish, of somebody that just loved music but was also connected to her American side, if you will. She just represented so much purity and like a love and a zest for life that I always connected to, but also like this fearlessness of not only sharing your gifts, but being completely committed to what you love. And since then, since I was a kid performing in my living room for my family, obviously a lot has changed. And I've gone through so many career ups and downs and changes and switch and pivots. And I feel like I'm most aligned now with that little girl that was performing Selena covers. I feel happy for that little girl. And I know that there's so many stories about how Selena touched people's hearts, inspired people, made them feel like they belonged, like they weren't othered, and they had a place to just be themselves and love fashion and love being themselves. And I think that's part of the reason, small part, of why she's still so culturally relevant all of these years after her passing. It's just nice to kind of like revisit her music, her career, her legacy with new eyes and a new sense of love in my heart for the little girl that loves Selena.
Would you believe me if I told you that Selena's ghost was caught on camera at her funeral? The newest documentary about her on Netflix is said to have incredibly rare footage, and it reminded me of the very rare footage I had seen of her funeral and what appeared to be her spirit comforting her husband. The footage you're about to watch is of Chris Perez sitting front row at her graveside service when he suddenly feels something touch his shoulder.
You see right there? Wow. I definitely believe that could have happened. I always liked this outfit that she wore during this photo shoot. She had a lot of cute outfits, and she played in the fashion and started her fashion line. And again, she had accomplished a lot. She was already big and she was about to be bigger. And it's just a fact that this was going to happen for her. Dreaming of You is such a beautiful song, but I could fall in love. I can lose my heart tonight if you... I can't sing it like her, but if you don't turn and walk away. But the way I feel, I might lose control and let you stay. And I know it's not right, but I guess I should try to do what I should do. But I could fall in love. I can't do it, but that part when Selena, I could fall in love. I can't hit that note like her, but she did the damn thing, okay? So Selena represents hope. She represents for the Latino, the Mexican American community, singers everywhere, because so many people love Selena and continue to discover Selena and her legacy. She paved the way. She paved the way. This is a fact, and I respect that a lot. Selena was beautiful. I also want to know what was Selena's diet, because her shape was absolutely incredible. No BBLs or any of that. Amazing beauty, amazing figure. She look the outfits that she was wearing. And when you saw Selena the movie, like her father was kind of like in shock with the outfits, but it was very trendy and stylish. The bustier thing and the pearls, and she wore a lot of very cute outfits and everything like that. So it's just a shame that she didn't get a chance to. She wanted to be a mother, to have kids, and yes, she won the Grammy, but she was going to get more Grammys in those English speaking language albums. And like when the way you see Shakira, that level, that Selena, that's what you was going to see here in America, speaking English. So rest in peace to Selena. Her legacy will continue to live on. And I had brung up the similarities again with Aaliyah, but I also always think about Richie Valens again. Richie Valens, a lot of people don't talk about Richie Valens, and this was during around the 1950s or 60s, around the 1950s, him and Buddy Holly, they call it the day the music had died. And Richie Valens was just 17. He was Mexican American, and he was about to be really big, and he was doing it at 17 years old, and he didn't like to get on planes. He had a fear of planes. And look, you need to see that movie called La Bamba. It's called La Bamba, and you will cry watching that. And what happened with the plane going down and all that, and just 17 years old. And he was representing for the Mexican, Latino, Hispanic community here in America. And then you have Selena, and then that happened. So, rest in peace to Selena. And it's just a damn shame what happened. It just don't make no sense at all. It makes no sense that Yolanda would do something like that. Like why? Okay, you got fired. You were obsessed with Selena. I don't understand, why couldn't you just talk to her? Okay, they were, and then started arguing or something because she was stealing the money again, and she didn't want to be let go and cut off from Selena. So it's just craziness, absolute craziness. There are some people who just felt like, what, they should have met somewhere in an off. I don't know, but look, they were very close. She pretended to be like one of her best friends. And this also shows you what happened to Selena. What happens when someone is jealous of you? When a woman, this happens for men, but I'm talking about women. When a woman is jealous of you, these type of things can happen. Pure jealousy was a big factor as to why Yolanda did this. Selena was rising. She was beautiful, talented, good shape, and all that. And Yolanda wanted to be a part of her world, to be attached to her, because people love Selena. And she wanted to feed off of Selena, and she wanted to, like having an entourage type of thing. She wanted to be a part of the group. So when they found out what she did, she felt rejected, and she wasn't going to get no money no more, and she wasn't attached to a star. So she was bitter and angry and decided to confront Selena. She claims that it didn't happen the way we think, and she never meant to do it. It was an accident. Oh, it was her father. I was afraid. She said she was afraid of the daddy. That's why she came there. You was talking to Selena one-on-one. Y'all got into a little argument because of what you was doing. Selena turned her back and you took it out. That's what you did. And the rest is history on what happened to Selena. So she's always saying, oh, I need to be able to tell my story. I need to tell you the truth of what happened. No one's really buying what she probably is going to say if she gets out about, because the fact remains is that her back was turned and you had the weapon. Why did you even have it to talk to Selena? So, yeah, rest in peace again to Selena, one of the greats in music, period. One of the greats, and her legacy continues to live. There have been a lot of girls who have been named Selena after Selena. Okay, so that is it for this video. The documentary is on Netflix. I highly suggest that you watch it. I actually watched it yesterday because I wanted to see all the footage that I had never seen, actually seeing Selena talking and singing and all types of stuff, again, that no one had ever seen before. So this is your chance right now to see it on Netflix. Go ahead and see it. Let us know what you think in the comment section. Do you listen to Selena's music? Do you remember the day it happened? Like, were you a teenager or an adult when it was all over the news? What do you remember about that day? Did you start listening to Selena's music? And just how do you feel overall? How do you feel about her family continuing to run the museum and her estate, and anything they put out, they're able to get paid for the work that they do to keep her legacy alive? How do you feel about that overall in the documentary if you saw it? Okay, so look, I got these great women up here, all of them. Okay, so that's all for today's video. Like, share, and subscribe. Hit the bell and click all notifications so you know when I'm live.